the fellow Ghanaians aso ebetimayeshi. Yes, na aso ebetimayeshi pa yina. And some be bobo eba montian fan who I say, and some no anording. I Ebeka and sent them about 3-4 days ago. And a rough edit video be better Montia, your own war air rage hospital on crime mountain was it. Sir, all female patients need nurses at our rage hospital. Now, according to the commentary, not all running, not all trim say on one casa as person, no in your issues, kakrantin or hospital or for treatment, any medications. Now, Okodu Hono. And I Ochim say there were patients there, not doctors cry anywhere they will attend to the patient. And I just say, when here on Ususu say, also all your videos of whatever is happening at the Rage Hospital. Now the better Montaigne, not Ghana for now feel so health minister, Mr. Akandon so etumihu. Now the video ya okoye ni sema okoko kan no and a sabre no ka say the Ghana for edinka be trouble yepa. Now Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association for so at the statement be about Bontia Busia, Menobe Konya Kwakutieti in Semnumu and Commonibi. Ha, Master channel near you have media GH. Any day so first time and I say when you subscribe here. No one me subscriber to no so amame. Now I feel bell na dan chen one activity no. Next time me drop a video bia. Now I first person I will say ebetimi akabi like a video we na share. Now we be nso enya binti na for adwenkyere. Ekọ to comment section. And to send an do any dinka ekano. Ralph, the fellow Ghanaians, Echo Rage Hospital, I think 3 or 4 days ago. And a story started circulating. Now videos what better Montina or Casa say patients cry at the hospitals doctors any home any other one of the men and a patient inside work crack and say Osreno na dioye no omana nombra for because one or hospital and a dede sa kasa bebrebe no it is not hygienic for some of the patients omo ho no mo enti no man kra panicho sa ka omane kasa nombra for man whatever he is doing no onjai amoka say dampa chomati.
Good morning, fellow Ghanaians, and good morning to the Minister of Health, Mr. Akando. Actions needs to be taken at the Rage Hospital against majority of the nurses that were on duty yesterday evening, especially with this lady you are seeing in the camera. That this lady find a problem with we filming whatever that was happening there, the medical negligence and unconcerned attitude that was exhibited against taxpayers, citizens that have been rushed to the hospital in an emergency, and to the point that they got so furious and asked me to sit there and whatever I think I can do, I should do it, just because they had asked me to go and buy cotton or gauze or whatever they call it, and I had asked them that madam, a whole Rage Hospital into muni gauze and our cotton or anoma muni besham tisa no so me cotton. And one of the nurses that was there at that moment had raised a statement that triggered my anger. That madam boss untumi mana ma me de do aha e Ghana why unkwoto atena ho ye de me makachi we ye ni bi wo ha nti wo bekwa akwoto akoda bla unkwoto mba atena ho umpeyimfo ni wie musika no wo na wo betumi akoka cho nti koda akoka chiro omo ye de mahana me de mu ye so anom, right? And this triggered my anger, and I asked them, this is foolish, irresponsible and a reckless statement to be made. Yes, we all know we have a system failure. We all know there is corruption. But then you can't tell me a facility like Rage Hospital is not having gauze or cotton, and that when a patient or a casualty should ask that, must I use my money to go and buy this? And you tell him that won't pay you for now. I hire Ghana. Something needs to be done. People need to be punished for their irresponsible statements. Yes, it is true that we have a problem. There is corruption everywhere. Even the nurses there, majority of them are so corrupt. And actions needs to be taken. This particular lady came in, insulted me just in the name of me filming whatever incident that happened there. And that went extent, even hitting me. And I told him, and only the people there can attest to the kind of statements and comments she made. And this is not supposed to come from any professional health provider in any advanced and civilized country where people's rights are being respected, when patients' rights are being respected, where people's life are being respected. And they do this because they know that there are no consequences to this. They do this because there are no punishments, law enforcement that would make sure that, yes, nurses are supposed to be protected.
And to this particular incident, actually, and a Ralph Nankasa so edit video be able to Monty Womara a health minister, Mr. Kando, to me a Rich Hospital, na Okobusebusa and Semnumu, now ordering some etuto to Monty, and a Ralph de videos be able to Monty and all Tremose, and Sema and penny for air can fan on no dear, Ususu say, or yeah, what he is supposed to do.
At the time, the gentleman was making the video, the patient had already been seen. A line had been said, antibiotics and analgesics, and infusion was running. But when he came, he wanted to be attended to in a way he felt was appropriate by his own standards. Because when he came, our nurses dressed his wound to stop the bleeding and told him to wait because the others who were more injured than he was. And that's when he got offended and took the video that started. And this a tragedy.
So it was the patient himself who was making the video?
Yes, he himself.
He had a laceration over the finger.
Exactly, over the fingers. Yeah. So they told him that, well, there are people who were more critically wounded and needed more care. So have patience.
Let's somebody who was doing
no.
the video. So he had the body cam. Oh, he had the body cam, yes. From the video, it looks like that.
But he did all the recording and posted it himself. So that was when it started, and then a mob came in and threatened our staff.
Because of the video, other people came from outside.
Yes, but they were already a group. I think they were a group who were moving together and the incident occurred. So when they brought the first injured, they had the most injured one, the rest joined in. So then the assumption was that their patient had been abandoned. So even if you watch the videos, the one he was showing already had an IV line that was in situ and there was fluid running. So he had already attended to, we were waiting to go and do the scans. So when they came and then they didn't see a lot of staff surrounding me, the assumption was that they had been abandoned. So then they became violent and were attacking the staff. So the staff, those who were experienced, quickly changed their uniform clothes and wore a household what they wore to work. So they didn't quickly identify them. So the only one who was still in scrap was assaulted. So she was injured. Yeah, she was injured. She even had a dislocation. So
Is she around?
yes, she's still around. Yeah.
So let me visit the gentleman.
Okay. Question. So I offered to suture his lacerations for me. When I prepared the tray and everything, and I invited him to come over, he left. So it looks as if he wasn't interested in the care we're going to give him because we prepared everything. We didn't ask him for any money. We got items to do everything for him, and he was nowhere to be found when we were ready to attend to him. So it's most unfortunate that it all happened because in any case, the impression he was creating was that there was a delay in providing care. But even the one who was most injured had already received care by the time he was getting to hospital, and by the time he was making the video, we already had given him medications and we were waiting to go and do the CT scan for him. And even by 10:30, 11, we had already done the CT scan and we knew what was going on. But unfortunately, they had created a scene and traumatized our staff. So,
Is it
So around 7:45. Exactly. I understand it lasted for about 2 hours.
2 hours. Yes.
So the whole tantrum
Yeah.
and aggression was around 2 hours.
the victims were lying, the patients were lying there,
So
and those
there were already admitted patients who were around. From the video, even other patients were begging him to just calm down, and this young man would not listen. So it lasted for about 2 hours, and then he finally absconded with his entourage.
How what he's supposed to do. Now they say I'm no casino. Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association for the letter about Mountain so John Dramani Mahama Mampenyini say Ralph ni dwumedie ni suban a okokoda na di our Rich Hospital one dia ade a suban boni suban boni a ense se oman bapa because one oyamambofo Say wobetimi awura hospitals a nkrofo ewo ho eja yarehwe na obakoye videos na obakoye dede one wodi individuals pictures ba mountain ama obi ehun sebe wona a wo yare a woda hospitals wo di omo videos ba mountain ama Ghana fo yina ehun entwaye afin so wo ye dede a ebe distract enye good for nkrofo health ni ade enti no mususu se saa suban a raf koda na di na afin so koka se sambre no doctors kura ni ho a omo behwe adehye a omo tetete ho ne de na se entwaye enti no omo sere omampanyini John Dramani Mahama se omo modern ase the next 48 hours no raf no ombechi no ombechi no omdina kwakwo gina mbrana no na wakwakwo yiyi nsem bia no na omochi no na se ebubo na se mbra no eno no atumi adi because omususu se suban a oda na de no enye suban papa a che se Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association for the letter aba monten ade akoma omampanyini se omomodi answer raf suban na wada na de ne de obeche no omobeche no nti abusua raf story no akoye ne brisem na don't forget say Ghana fo bebre ebetwa bon pa ye wo mbra sa video we o de beto monten so no Ghana fo ebetwa bon pa ya enye easy na raf no yebeka ya last year mo baabi ye ka nkrofo a che say ban yenye campaign yenye demonstrations fa videos of certain things are cause wo man mum radia that's a raf here number 1 to no ndi osusu say whatever he is doing you know or na abo man no by exposing people are ono susu so omunyo adwuma yi until some say na circulate ewo raf camper medibi bro medibi bro channel near you have media GH once again medawase say waje bre na watie me ebedu sampempesu nyame nshira makraw